before you start that partnership, what should you do? What should you not do before you start that business partnerships? And we do find that business partnerships are on the increase. Persons are, collaborating, connecting for so many reasons, right? You can achieve so much more together versus being alone in business at times. So you are about to start a partnership. What are some of the things that you should be considering before you go ahead and sign that deal, sign that contract? There's so many things to be considered, but we're just going to focus on three main ones in this video. I am Kersha Campbell. I do help business owners in the construction world, contractors, construction companies, helping them by to being frustrated, overwhelmed, and anxious about seeing too much money leaving their business, cash leaving their business versus cash coming into their business. So there are a lot of money holes, money leaks, there are financial fires. I help you to take care of all that. And there is financial chaos in your business as well. And we're able to say goodbye to that so you can have more nights sleeping, less time worrying and getting just so overwhelmed about what's happening in your business. Because a lot of times as a business owner, you're an expert in your area of skill, your field, but when it comes to the number side, there are some serious struggles there. And we do know that if your numbers are not correct, your business won't survive if you don't have cash flow, right? And the number one reasons that businesses fail is attention to their numbers, not having that cash flow. Cash flow is like definitely the lifeblood of the organization. As humans, we need oxygen, we need blood to survive. In the same way, as a business, you definitely need cash flow. So you are considering a partnership, or you have already been approached by someone to start a partnership, or you are, going to approach someone that, this partnership might be something that is worthwhile for us to explore. What are some of the things you need to be looking at before you sign that contract, before you say, okay, let's do this? So number one, you need to have a consensus, a decision, an agreement as to how you are going to share profits or losses. And bear in mind that depending on the type of partnership that you have set up, there are different business formations of partnership, right? You can have a partnership where you have like a limited liability partnership where you're limiting liability to certain amount. And again, that's a kind of like a hybrid with a corporation. You can have it where you're just a straight partnership, and of course, you're you're similar to a sole proprietor for tax purposes. So definitely, before you decide on the agreement and these issues that we're going into, be clear of the type of legal entity that is going to work best for you, because each legal entity comes with different restrictions, regulations, they're different tax brackets, they're different, you know, concerns. So be clear about the type of legal entity that you want to set up before you do start that partnership for sure. So how are you going to share profits or losses, right? And it might be taken for granted that, okay, we're just going to split it, but not everybody might want that. So it is very clear, if you make a profit, what is going to happen? Are you going to split it equally and it's going to be paid out, or are you going to split a portion and reinvest it in the partnership? Are you going to have a different um, breakdown as to how, a different criteria as to how you're going to split the profits? For example, are you going to say, okay, based on the capital that we've contributed, based on my investment, then we'll share the profits in that ratio. So these are things that you need to discuss before you know, confirm that this is what we're going to do, this is the partnership we're going to be forming. You need to be clear on how you're going to share profits. Losses, you might say, okay, we made a loss. How are we going to handle that? Is it going to be in the same ratio as the profits I shared? Are we going to put monies into the business to cover that? What's that gonna look like? Because losses may occur, and it's important that it's very, very clear as to how you're gonna share the loss, that there's no ambiguity, that it is a given that you have a loss, this is what we're gonna do. we've made a profit, this is what we're going to do as well. So definitely be clear about how you're going to share profits and losses. Monies that are invested in the partnership, the capital, that is accounting legal term, your capital, how is that going to be handled? Are you going to repay it after a certain time? Is there going to be interest? What is the interest rate going to be? So this is another area that you are bringing money into the business. How is that going to be handled? And that is something that it is important that that is discussed so that it can really be clear as to how are we going to handle this as partners. So when I'm okay, I invested this money, so I should have gotten this interest. Again, there is no ambiguity. It's clear, it's written, and this is exactly how we're going to proceed, how we're going to do it. Are you going to be able to take monies out of the partnership? That's another thing, drawings or, taking, monies out for various purposes because situations may come up. You might say, okay, I want to take these monies out of the business instead of going for a bank loan. Situations might, come up and you want to be clear. Is that going to be allowed? If it's going to be allowed, how is that going to be done? Is it going to be that every partner will be, allowed to take monies out of the business at what time? This is again something that it is important that you are assessing to see what is that going to look like. I'll talk about another one, salary. Are the partners going to be paid salaries? What's going to be that amount that they're going to be paid? A lot of times that's something that's not addressed. So you are working in the partnership business and there is no record, there's no way that you're going to, it was never discussed that you're going to be paid a salary, how much, and all that. So definitely, if the partner, if one of the partners will be working in the business, what's that salary going to look like, right? What is that amount? What are the scope of duties as well? It's very clear, it's very important that that is clear and that is discussed from the beginning. So drafting that partnership agreement up saves a lot of headaches. It is a very, very important document. Of course, you get your relevant lawyer in the picture to review that document to make sure that, you know, things are clear, things are, you know, written properly, the wording is not ambiguous. The lawyers, they come in with their expertise in that area. So definitely this is an area that has a great potential for businesses to grow and you have different skill set coming in. So partnerships are very good, can be very good depending on what's involved, what's the what's the intent, what's the focus, what's the mission of the partnership and the opportunities that will be taken in consideration. But they can turn sour really bad if the partnership agreement is not in place, if it's not clear, if certain key areas are not, spoken about, it's not discussed, and you don't have a consensus on it. So definitely make sure that you are clear on how profits and losses are going to be handled. Be clear about if money is being invested in the business by capital, by certain partners. Will there be an interest rate? When will that be? Will there be salaries if certain partners are working in the business? What's that rate going to be? And how many hours are they going to be working? What's the scope of their duties as well? Because you definitely want to be clear about that, right? And also, if you are taking money out of the business, what is that going to look like? Is that going to be allowed for everyone as well? So we do know that in life, agreements can go haywire. You're going into an agreement sometimes where you're not even clear about the person. So it's, so many reasons. So it is important that nothing is taken for granted and they say the dots are all the dots are there, all the stuff are ticked, all the ticks are there. Everything is reviewed accurately, correctly to make sure there is less room for ambiguity. It's crystal clear because we do know that situations come up and you're like, I didn't mean that, I didn't expect that. No, that wasn't clear. No, and it's even deeper than having the right communication. You want to have it documented, because a partnership is a legal business. So you want to make sure that it is recorded, the necessary documentations are done properly. So that's our little talk on partnership in this video. So please share with this information with somebody, another business colleague who definitely this might help. So signing off until next time. Bye.